Wanna be nosy about a super personal medical issue? I'll tell you more than you ever wanted to know. So I just had a lateral sphincterotomy for chronic anal fissures. It's just as painful and terrible as it sounds. It's also kind of an awkward topic to get into with 99% of people, so for the most part I've been deliberately vague about my surgery with people. My husband, parents, boss, and closest friends know the details. But as far as anyone else knows, I'm just having a minor procedure and will be out of work for a while. If people have reached out to check on me and see if I'm okay, that's fine. I appreciate that. But if they keep prying despite my obvious attempts to be vague, my strategy has been to tell them in graphic detail exactly what the surgery entails and make them regret asking. It goes like this. Them, hey, I heard you were having surgery, is everything okay? Me, yeah, it's just a small elective procedure. Everything is fine. Thanks for checking in. Usually the conversation is over here or the subject is changed. But if the person wants to be nosy, it continues. Them, okay, good, just making sure. Me, yup. All good. Them, what's the surgery for? Me, it's for a digestive system issue, nothing to worry about. Them, oh, what is it? Me, my butthole. I have chronic anal fissures, which means my entire anus splits open every single time I poop. It's excruciating. I'm having a sphincterotomy. That's where they cut into the sphincter muscle from the inside, and then cauterize the fissures to allow them to heal better. Them, well, that's graphic. Me, I tried to be vague, but you still felt the need to ask, so I felt the need to tell you. I really just hope it makes them feel awkward and like they shouldn't have asked such personal questions when someone was clearly trying to be vague about something. Mind your own dang business and get your nose out of my ass. Literally. Edit 1, whole lot of people in the comments like that's not fair. They might not know they're being intrusive or nosy. They might just genuinely be concerned. But like, I know these people on a personal level. I know who's concerned for my well-being and who is being willfully intrusive. I know I could just say I'd rather not discuss it, and I do say that to some people. I adjust my response to people accordingly based on their intent. Edit 2, I did not make the advice animals post. Someone else liked my story so much they decided to make a meme out of it. Hopefully some people who need to see it there. Edit 3, yeah, but you're talking about your discreet private medical issue on the internet, so clearly it doesn't bother you to talk about it. I didn't say it did. I said I have an issue with people deliberately prying into someone else's information. Also, you didn't have to read this post or the comments, so don't get butthurt that you now also know more than you wanted to about my anus. Now to the comments. I do the same with my Crohn's. I keep it vague about my symptoms and the surgeries that I have. Until someone pushes, then I give them all the graphic details. I did it via email with the Jobsworth office manager when occupational health recommended some minor adjustments, but she couldn't accept it until I explained to her why the requests had been made. Had a lot of fun with that one. Everyone wants to so badly know how you're doing until you tell them you poop in a bag hanging off your stomach, and have a giant yellow plastic seton hanging out your ass dripping the remnant pus of 5 anal fistulas that were too deep to remove in one surgery. It's like they want to hear something important but don't want to hear something gross. Weirdos. It's Crohn's disease. Not a dang boob job or tummy tuck. I will just send you some, very gentle, internet hugs. When I was very young, I couldn't understand why we had to leave my dad alone and not pester him to get out of the toilet. Finally, my mum let me know he was suffering from anal fissures. Little me was horrified and secretly fascinated that fishes swam around in one's butt. Actually, the fish weren't the problem, it was the fissures that caused the trouble. Those bastards use really sharp hooks. What I'd really like to know is, are you still able to eat fish knowing where they come from? Cognitive dissonance FTW. You get really anal when people try to pry, huh? OP replied, just don't pry into my anus and we'll be fine. Lol. This is a whole ass problem. A few years ago, I was starting a new job and my co-worker I hadn't met yet came back into the office after a minor surgery. He sat down, and right out blurted out, "Sorry we haven't met yet, I was having surgery for an anal fissure." Then proceeded to explain the procedure in details. "So, thank you for holding back. I don't know what it is, but there is a lot of people when starting new jobs just share too much." Worked in a molding company that had a high turnover rate. People would spend 8 hours telling you too much info, ranging from "I'm freshly divorced because I caught my wife getting gangbanged" to "I'm fresh out of prison." Kept me entertained though. I tend to overshare to co-workers because I have no friends to talk to outside of work. I had this once when I was having a major surgery to stop a blood vessel from crushing a nerve leading from my brain. I just passed it off as a major surgery to cure chronic jaw/face pain. They asked for more details, so I went into all the graphic details of splitting my skull open, etc. Trigeminal neuralgia? I feel for you and hope the procedure eliminated, or at least reduced, your episodes. Yes. Yes, it was. And it did. I feel your pain quite literally right now. I am typing this from the hospital bed after having had surgery on the scrotum 2 days ago. At the risk of instant karma and malicious compliance, do you mind me asking why you needed scrot surgery? PM if you don't want to share with the class. I woke up last weekend one morning with a small bit of swelling and a dime-sized red area with a black spot in the center. Later that day the area turned white, and the next day it had spread to a second spot that had some black area. Within the next 2 days it had spread to another 2 spots. I ended up in the ER to try and get the infection under control, but had to be admitted. The next night had a surgery in the room under local to open, drain the wounds and remove some dead area. 2 days later had to go into the OR to have even more dead tissue removed. So now here I sit waiting on some healing. The doctors think out of all the people coming into the ER claiming to have been bitten by something, I'm one of the first they think it was true. Sounds like a real pain in the ass. OP replied. Nosy people, the fissures, or the surgery? D all of the above. D all of the above. Ah, so a royal pain in the ass. Sending your butt some healing good vibes. That's wholesome. You're cracking me up with these cheeky puns. I used to do this, but it's frankly not their business, so now I straight up just say, you don't want the answer to that question, it will scar you for life and possibly make you lose your lunch. Then I leave it at that and change the subject. I have not been pressed beyond that sentence at all in about 3 years now. I work in a medical field, so that's like throwing chum in the water. Medical field people I enjoy talking to. Grandma from 6 blocks over though. She might never be the same again. I had the procedure several years ago. It worked great. OP replied, this gives me hope. Right now, I know you're in a lot of pain. It will be better in a few days. Yeah, I broke my leg in 5 places in a car accident. That wasn't my fault. When I was 19, the other driver actually died and it ducked me up for a long time. Still, when people see the scars on my legs, they ask me how I broke my leg, and generally just a casual "I was in a car accident" is enough for them to stop prying. Those who don't have the common sense to take a hint get a very emotional retelling of my experience, usually with tears and occasional hyperventilate, while I retell my story about confronting death as a teenager and being cyberbullied by a dead man's grandchildren for killing their grandfather, even though I was cleared of any fault by the police and all witnesses. However, it fucking turns out that if someone dies, even if it's not your fault, it definitely still feels like you killed someone. I do this too with my eye problems that mean regular checkups at hospital. I sometimes forget that it's not normal to get eye injections because I've got so used to them, and the nosy people always end up with the same recoil/wincing expression. It's especially funny when it's nurses that do the recoil/wince. I used to get those too. I used the gross out factor to my advantage to basically get free days off from work on injection days, haha. To be fair, all those chemicals in your eye make them quite sensitive afterwards. Bilateral days were bad.